Good morning everyone. Hope all are doing well. So let us start today's class. So today we are going to read a very beautiful poem written by a very famous poet, that is John Keats. So John Keats is a famous poet, romantic poet, who have written various poems by romanticizing the nature and the beauty of the nature. And before starting the poem, I want to quote a very famous saying that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So as we all know that nature is very beautiful. There are various beautiful things around us, but we need to have a keen eyes and we have to be a good observer to appreciate that beauty and to hold us within ourselves. So to appreciate the beauty, we should have a good and keen eyes, then only we can be able to see the beauty within ourselves and within others. And this poem is also related to one of these themes, the beauty of the nature. So, as we all know that nature is a very beautiful thing that God has created, and God has also created humans so that they can take care and they can appreciate the beauty of the nature. So today, related to this, we are going to study a poem. The name of the poem is A Thing of Beauty. Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats. So let us start today's poem. I shall quote the lines and then I'll explain the meaning. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So here we have found few of the difficult words. Number one is bower. So what do you mean by bower? Is a shady tree. So here the poet says that the beauty stays forever. The beauty is inevitable and it never fades away with the passage of time. So rather the beauty it intensifies within the span of time, and therefore the people who are there, they can enjoy it and they can see it and feel it forever. The perception of the poet regarding the beauty is that it never fades off. Beauty is always there, and it's like a shady tree. It's like a shady tree which gives shade to us during a hot sunny day, and we can sleep peacefully under the shade of the tree and enjoy good health and quiet breathing. The second stanza goes, therefore on every morrow are we raiding a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. So first of all, we shall note down the difficult words. The next difficult word here is morrow, which means the next day, that is tomorrow. Another one is raiding, that is surround. Then dearth, which means lack or scarcity. And then depressed. Depressed, as we all know, despondence, that means depressed. And the last one here is pall, P-A-L-L, that is feeling of fear. So, my dear students, now let us have the explanation of this stanza. So, therefore, on every morrow are we reading. That means the poet wants to say that every day, every next day, it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit of hope, with the spirit of joy to live. And it is the beauty within the nature, within us, that builds the desire in us to live. Although there are sad moments, there are gloomy days, there are cruel people, sad and gloomy moments, but still the beauty of the nature that relents in us, inspires us and motivates us to move ahead and to fight with all the difficulties of our life. And it is the beauty which is created by God, which helps us to remove the sadness from our hearts. So God has created the beautiful nature in such a way that it creates how we can appreciate the beauty that we can find in each and every day of our life. From our day to day, every mundane activities, we can find beauty. Just we should have a keen eye to observe that kind of beauty. So now let us move on to our third stanza. So let us see what the poet has written and described in the third stanza. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make gainst the hot season, the mid-forest break. So here are some of the difficult words. Let us see the meaning of the difficult words. The first one here is rills, which means a small stream. The next one is break. As we all know, it's a process of slow down or slowing down. So here in this paragraph, the poet has described the beautiful things that are present on the earth and that are natural, that means God gifted, God has made them for us. And these are sun, moon, trees, flowers, that means the daffodils which are mentioned by the poet, and the rivers, that means the stream. So the poet says that all these things are a blessing. They are a boon, that means a blessing to the humankind, to us, by the God, by the nature. And it has been bestowed to us to enjoy the nature, by the humans, which has been bestowed by God. And the poet also further describes that the trees provide us with the shade, with the flowers, and with their beauty, and rivers. The rivers provides us the coolness which we can enjoy during a hot weather, during a hot season, summer. And all of these are beauties of nature, which is like a boon to us, to the humankind. That means we are actually gifted by the God through these things which are found in the nature, that is the sun, the stars, the moon, the trees, the shade of the trees, then rivers, the cooling effect that it gives, the air, cooling air. So all these things are like a boon to the humankind that is gifted by God. And that is why we should appreciate and we should understand how to protect it, how to, protect and how to make it more reliable to live in. And therefore we humans are always gifted, but we forget that although it is a gift to us by the nature, but still we have to conserve it, still we have to protect it for our own benefit. And that is what sustainable development is. Now, the next stanza that poet has written is like, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. So let us first write down the words and their meaning. So here we can find the next difficult word, that is grandeur. Everybody can note down in their notebooks grandeur, which means high rank or high status in the society. The next is mighty, that means enormous. And then comes brink, that means edge. So here in this last paragraph of the poem, the poet describes that so many beautiful things are present in this world, on this earth, and they are so beautiful, such as the musk roses. So I hope everyone has scented a rose, has smelled a rose. So what does the fragrance smells like? So I hope everyone has seen a rose and everyone has smelled it, right? So it has a beautiful fragrance. So all the roses, it's kind of a different fragrance we can find in different types of roses. So there's a musk rose which is having a very beautiful, nice, flowery fragrance. And then he describes the tales of the mighty warriors who laid their lives for their countries or for their humanity. That means here the poet is talking about the martyrs, the martyrs, the soldiers, that they have sacrificed their lives in protection of their motherland, in protection of the community, of the society. So here also we can see that the poet is mentioning the sacrifices that were so important to the humankind that we should also remember them. And then he says that these beautiful things are the gifts from God for all of us. As I have already told you, that whatever we can see in the nature, whatever we can feel in the nature that God has given us, it's kind of a boon to the humankind. It's kind of a gift that the God has given to all of us to enjoy the beautiful nature in its own possible way. So it's kind of a gift from God to all of us. And they are like a nectar given by God to us. And these are those beauties which are immortal. So immortal, that means which never dies. It is never dying. So these gifts, whatever God has given to us, the beauty that lies in the nature, it is immortal. That means it will stay here forever. We humans may die one day because humans are mortal. Animals are mortal. Whatever has born, they will die. But the nature itself is immortal. Nature will stay here and it will stay like this in its beautiful form for a long period of time. So they are like the nectar given by God, and which are immortal and also gives us the reason to live on in this earth. Because as we all know that there are so many types and different types of sad and gloomy and negative feelings and things that we surround ourselves in everyday, day-to-day life. But in spite of this kind of feelings, which is kind of negative, the nature is one of those things which gives us motivation, which influences us in a positive way to think a positive and to have a positive mindset. So nature itself is a healing thing. We say that nature has the healing properties. It has the healing capacity. So that is why whenever we are sad, whenever we feel gloomy, or we are in a negative state of mind, we suggest and we should also apply it in our own lives that we go and we should spend some time with the nature. So spending time with the nature, it can make a huge difference in our life, in our thinking, in our aura. We will have a positive mindset, we will have a motivational mindset which will motivate us, which will inspire us to move forward in spite of all the hurdles and all the obstacles faced in our day-to-day life. So as we have seen that the poet here, the John Keats, he has not only described about the beauty of the nature, but he has also described the sacrifice of the soldiers that they do for their own motherland. That is also a beauty, because they are sacrificing their lives, which is very precious, a human life which is very precious, but they are sacrificing it to just protect their country, to protect the humans, to protect the community, to protect the society. So John Keats has very beautifully described the way the beauty of the nature it holds, the beauty in everything. And that is why what I said in the beginning of the class, that is, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. That means the observer who is observing the things, who is watching the things, they should have a beautiful eyes, and then only they will be able to appreciate, they will be able to relate the things beautifully with themselves, and they can also get inspired and motivated from that thing, and they can also motivate others in their life. So it's a very beautiful poem. Now we will see the poetic devices that are related in the poem. From the first paragraph, we can see the poetic devices that are given here is alliteration. So the poetic devices, first, what we find here is alliteration. So my dear students, alliteration is nothing but repetition of the consonant sounds in a passage. So whenever we are reading a poem, whenever there are words that is repeated, and by words I mean to say that the consonant words, okay. So the repetition of the consonant words is known as alliteration. So whatever words are repeating consonant words, that will come under the alliteration poetic device. And here in this first paragraph, we can see the word that is sleep, sweet. In the first paragraph, we have found alliteration, sleep and sweet. In the second paragraph also, you can see in your textbook, we have found the word that is bend and bind. So B is also a consonant, so it is repeating. So therefore it will be termed as alliteration. Then noble and nature. So N is repeating here. So noble, nature, N is repeating. That's why it will also be termed as alliteration. Then in the third paragraph you can see sprouting, shady. S is repeating. Sprouting, shady. Then simple, shape. And in the last paragraph, we have one alliteration, that is have heard. H has been repeated here. So have heard. Now, the second poetic device we can see here in this poem is metaphor. Now, what do you mean by this metaphor? Now, what do you mean by metaphor? Metaphor is invoking a direct similarity between the word and the phrase. So here the direct similarity has been made by the poet in the first paragraph, that is bore quiet. Bore quiet, where the poet has mentioned the calmness of the boar. Boar, as we have already written in the meaning, that is a shady tree. That means the shade of the tree. So whenever in a hot weather, in a hot summer season, we find a shady tree and we sit under that tree, so what kind of feeling do we have? We have peace, right? We have peace, and we have, calm our senses, calm our mind, so it feels very beautiful. So bore quiet, here the poet has invoked a direct similarity of the calmness of the boar is compared with the calming effect of a beautiful thing. So here the calming effect has been denoted by the poet. In the next stanza we can find the example of, another example of metaphor is reading a flowery band. So in the second stanza we have found another metaphor, that is reading a flowery band. So here the poet has invoked a similarity between the beautiful things of our life that binds us to the earth. For example, the sun, the moon, the rivers, the shady trees, and so on. So all these things binds us to the earth, because we as human beings, we have been gifted by the nature all these things that helps us in our day-to-day life, and therefore the poet has invoked a direct similarity between the beautiful things of our life that binds us to the earth. The next poetic device we can see here is imagery. So imagery has been used in the third stanza of the poem. Imagery means the visual representation of objects. So here the visual representation of objects has been made by the poet in the third paragraph, that is trees giving shade. Trees giving shade. So here the poet has tried to make a visual representation that the trees are giving shade to us, to the humans, and that sprout by the line that is sprouting shady boon. As I already told you, boon is a blessing. Boon means blessing. So that means God is given the trees, God has provided the trees for us, for humans, to give shade, which is kind of a blessing for us. And the growing process, another example of imagery is the growing process of daffodils, which has been mentioned in the poem in the third paragraph, that is daffodils with the green world they live in. So here the poet has tried to describe the visual representation of the growing process of daffodils. Daffodils are the flowers which are very beautiful, and the poet has tried to describe it and has given a visual representation by using the poetic device imagery. And it's an extraction from the original poem, that is Endymion, which was written by John Keats. So this is an extraction from there, and it has been written by John Keats. As we all know that he is a very famous romantic poet. So the poem tells us about how nature and its wonder mesmerizes us, mesmerizes the humans, and take away all the sorrows, all the worries, and all the problems that surrounds us in our day-to-day life, and from time to time. So with this, we come to an end of our today's class. So let us summarize the poem. So the summary here goes like this. The idea that beauty is eternal and has a timeless, lifelong attraction. So as I already told you, that beauty never fades away, it never goes away, rather it intensifies with the passage of time. So that means beauty is eternal, so it never fades away, and it's a lifelong transformation or changes. And the poem also talks about how the beauty endures and may be found in both created and natural things. So that means it doesn't only says that beauty is found only in the natural things, but beauty can also be found in the man-made things that are created by man actually. So as I already told you, beauty is everywhere around us. So we should be able to look forward, and we should have that observant eyes to observe the beauty in each and everything that surrounds us. So whatever, whether it is natural or it is man-made, it can be beautiful. And beauty of nature can make people happy and amazed. So as I already told you, that the nature has gifted us so many things. It is kind of a boon for us to see the stars, to see the sun, the moon, enjoy the rivers, the streams, the shade of the trees and everything, the flowers, the daffodils. So it's kind of a boon to us that has God gifted, and so we can enjoy it, and it actually amazes people. So beauty has the power to unite people and foster a sense of harmony and oneness. So at last we can say that beauty also creates a sense of unity, a sense of oneness, and that's why that is the beauty of our motherland. So because of the beauty of the motherland, all our soldiers, all our freedom fighters, they sacrifice their lives, they become the martyrs, and that's why we remember them, that's why we sing praises for our unsung heroes. So therefore it is also related with the beauty of the motherland, the beauty of the nature, the beauty of the motherland. So there is beauty in each and everything surrounding us. So beauty creates harmony and oneness within us. So it also creates and it also unites the people of different religion, of different places, of different things. So beauty is everywhere, and therefore we should look forward to have a good and keen eye to observe beauty in each and everything around us. Thank you everyone.